making, some of the best decisions we can make right now. I mean, we're blessed
Such
to
as
have.
what? What are we doing
Yeah.
to kind of
So
really change
obviously,
things?
like, I think the first and foremost thing was like, we, like I said, we bought new machines. I mean, that's always on the wheelhouse. I'm always looking at the
Mhm.
machines that we currently have, where these, I first off, I brought all the team members up, all the original OG team from Greco. Like, they have the higher pay, better positions. I thought that was the first thing. I'm investing in those people who helped us get here.
Mhm.
And I think that was the number one thing I could have, the best decision I've ever made. Because they stuck by, and now we got Mel is my operations officer, and she's just immediately crunching. And there's no better operations officer than someone who has spent years in customer service,
Yeah.
knowing exactly how the customer is, who they are, what they
Mhm.
want to know, what they want to hear, and stuff. And now, as the operations officer, she's evaluating each section of the production and trying to find these weak points, which was definitely needed. We never had management over at Greco, so I think that was a huge problem. I think
Makes
now
sense.
my thing was bring this OG team, the people who are investing all their time and effort into building it and doing right, and then put them in positions of authority to and decision making to solve some of these problems. Because I'm the first to tell anyone, like, I don't know it all. Not even close. I mean, I've done some things, but I don't know it all. And I'm happy to say that over and over again. And rather, I would, and I tell everyone on my team, do better than me at that. That's all I expect. Like, just be
Mhm.
better than me. And that's not very hard to do in some situations. Like, and that's how I'm just encouraging them. But like, put people in positions that make good decisions, solely focused on that specific area of the business. Invest into them, develop them, make this part of our team, make it not jobs but careers.
Mhm.
That's kind of what I really wanted to instill, and I think that was the most important piece of this. Did it fix all the problems immediately? No, that's a long term thing.
Mhm.
But we first off, I knew I needed a machine. I bought, we got another machine. And then I brought on, I actually called up some people who left Greco after during the move, and I called them, say, hey, come, and are you available? Do you want to work? And, we got a night shift person, and then, yeah, we brought on some creative, like I said, some people that had background in comic creation as prepress. So they came on. I brought on, I stepped back, and the hardest thing for me, obviously, this, is to let go of marketing, and brought on people to you yourself to really lean into our marketing, and reach out to the community, brought some people in the community. Right now, we're currently in the next piece of this is, the website, user
Mhm.
experience, communications. That's the number one goal. So I look at these problems and say, well, efficiencies, obviously, but if you can't just fix efficiencies, you got to break it down into incremental things. One of it is the people running the machines, the running the production operations, like, invest in them. Second was like their tools, the actual tools that they're using to make this happen. One of those things is the communication line, which is, the website and emails and phones and stuff. So that's kind of like my main focus right now. We have a developer working on. I looked at all the customer journey and just found all these openings where we weren't capitalizing on creating a better communication line with them. So
Right.
when I dissected that, I said, as in my background, I do have years of user experience in web development. So I brought on, I started designing and developing our website, and then brought on a developer to really make these things come to life. He's working on
Mhm.
that now. We're hoping to roll that out in the next month or so.
And this is
And
gonna change and
Oh,
streamline
everything. Well, that's
production.
where I was getting to. I mean, this doesn't make the site look cooler. It
Right.
doesn't, like, it doesn't affect, like,
That's not the point of this new
yes.
website rebuild at
This
all.
is we're an ecom. So this is a compounding thing. The site in itself eliminates some of the redundancies that were set in place so long ago and that were still with us, that were slowing down the processes. So like the new site, for instance, instead of like using two different pieces of software to just manage orders coming through and through our management system, it's
Mhm.
all integrated into one. Communications are integrated with that. So like updates on order progress and stuff like that, that's all integrated together with the actual order moving through the system. Uh,
Mhm.
Things like that. I mean, that immediately you're helping comms, you're helping tracking, you're helping the customer service with inputs and like the orders and processing those over to prepress. So not only that, obviously we're thinking consciously about the user's point of view, the customer.
Mhm.
Like, how do we make this way better? I mean, we have a laundry list of documents over the past 2 years of just and this was a marketing thing I put into play a long time ago, was like customer service and marketers should be documenting every kind of like specific and valuable complaint or feedback of some sort, and we should be collecting all this, and the things that are like consistently popping up, find a solution for. I mean, some of these are so simple, so we started looking at that and we started piecing together the solution all in one on the website. I think that's our first tackle, is from comms to user experience, like for instance, just having like templates on hand, right off on the order form, conditional forms that actually help the user streamline through the process, a lot easier, adjusting, adjusting like some of the products and specs, and specifically like some of the things, like we just can't be under one roof thing. Like that was another thing, like we can't do everything. That doesn't makes you good at nothing. Like, so instead, I really leaned into like focusing on books, like doing it right, specialties, all that stuff, so that we're cleaning that out at the same time. So the site in itself, will be better for the customer, at the same time better for production and turnaround. uh,
Can
so
you like just to really give like the audience a good understanding of why this is so like revolutionary for us and why it's so pinnacle? Can you just tell us how a typical order intake goes in right
Yeah,
now at the
yeah.
moment?
Well, right now we're using a commerce site, and then we use a management system. Like I said, we have multitude of software that really, I mean, from a user experience point of view, or even a process point of view, it's like there's too many redundancies. Like one of the software, it's a really great piece of software for management, but managing orders and stuff and inventory and whatnot. But we use about 5% of it, and I'm like, well, why are we only using 5% of it? Oh, that's because that's all we need. And it's like, well, then why isn't that 5% baked into the website? So not only can you hyper connect or point some of the movement of the project and track it from our point, but it can automatically communicate with the customer when
Mhm.
that stuff moves. So then now we can hold each other accountable for where those get stuck, and find solutions to individual bottlenecking
Mhm.
points, but also at the same time let the customer know immediately when it's moved along the pipeline or something goes wrong. Like that should be, that's flagged on the back end, rather than what we're using, which was like, they get an order, they'd have to print it out, they'd have to like retype it into the new software. There was no connection point there. And then then communications was like just your basic email back and forth. There was nothing automated. uh, I mean, the first thing I did as CMO was automate a bunch of stuff. Like, not, like you can't automate everything, but there's things hanging right in front of you that you can
Yeah.
automate that should be automated. Uh, you know, Automatic triggered emails and stuff like that. And that's the same thing with production. You can still have that, or I should say, communications through production. So that's one of the biggest things. I feel like it's going to tackle a lot of immediate problems in terms of like communications, because It's not that there's so much work that we just can't handle it in our machines. It's not even about the machines or the manpower. It's about the processes that are set in place that have slowed things down. Obviously, the backlog of like the move and like, yeah, we'll work through that. I'm calling it a bubble right now, and we will work through that. But instead of like working through that and just keeping it what it is, why don't we set up a machine that actually never lets that happen again? And that's kind of where we're at, and with the website and the infrastructure, processes, management, people, and team. So, yeah, some of the redundancies in order intake was just over the top.
With Comix, Wellspring.